Hello everyone, this is My Two Cents, and this is my fourth video in my series reviewing Gavin de Becker's book, The Gift of Fear. Last time we talked about the second of 7 survival signals that de Becker lays out in chapter 4 of his book, Survival Signals, and that tactic was charm and niceness. Now, if you're just finding this video, you should go watch the other 3 first, but to do a quick recap, these signals are tactics that predators, or people who are just manipulators, use to put their victims at ease. But at the same time, they end up being the very signals by which you can detect their ill intent. So previously, we covered both force teaming and charm and niceness. The next tactic is too many details. So quoting from page 60 of de Becker's book, de Becker states, quote, "When people are telling the truth, they don't feel doubted, so they don't feel the need for additional support in the form of details. When people lie, however, even if what they say sounds credible to you, it doesn't sound credible to them, so they keep talking. Each detail may only be a small tack he throws on the road, but together they can stop a truck. The defense is to remain consciously aware of the context in which details are offered. Context is always apparent at the start of an interaction and usually apparent at the end of one, but too many details can make us lose sight of it. Imagine gazing out the window of a train as it pulls away from the station. Details move by you, or you by them, slowly at first. As the train gets going a little faster, you see more details, but each one more briefly. An empty playground, a phrase painted in graffiti, some kids playing in the street, a construction site, the steeple of a church, until the train reaches a speed that requires you to let the individual components become a neighborhood. The same transition can occur as a conversation becomes a robbery. Every type of con relies upon distracting us from the obvious. The person who recognizes, and he goes on to say, the person who recognizes the strategy of too many details sees the forest while simultaneously being able to see the few trees that really matter. When approached by a stranger while walking on some city street at night, no matter how engaging he might be, you must never lose sight of the context. He is a stranger who approached you." So I'd like you to think about a couple of scenarios. Have you ever gone to the doctor for an appointment or a surgery that really had you on your toes? You were nervous, you were perhaps visibly shaking, and then when the doctor comes into the room, he smiles and starts up a totally unrelated conversation with you about your favorite hobbies, or maybe asks you where you like to travel on vacation. Or maybe, have you ever walked into a Best Buy knowing exactly what you're looking for, except that when you're explaining it to the salesman, he feels the need to constantly interrupt you and provide all these anecdotes or short stories that in one way or another jump off something that you said? Or perhaps you've been walking in a large city somewhere when someone in tattered clothing with dirt on his face walks up to you and explains to you how they just lost their job and their wife just had a baby and the car just broke down and he's got 3 other kids, perhaps from several different women, and they're all going to go hungry unless he gets just a little cash for food tonight. All 3 of these examples are examples of people using the tactic too many details. In all 3 of these cases, these people are providing extraneous details that are more or less unrelated to the conversation you're having with them, but it's because they all have a similar motive. They are trying to distract you. Now, that doesn't mean they're all sinister. I mean, the doctor is just trying to calm you down because he knows you're nervous. The salesman, well, depends on whether or not you consider it sinister, but he's probably trying to get you out of your sure mindsets about what you want to buy, and maybe, just maybe, he'll be able to talk you into buying something a little bit more expensive. And the third guy, well, let's face it, he's a con artist. So the point here is that when people add extraneous details in conversation, once again, it doesn't necessarily mean the person is sinister, but it does mean they have an agenda. They're trying to distract you. So the question again to ask is, given the context of who this person is, what do they want from me? If you stay focused on that, the details won't distract you. This is my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth. If you liked this video, please hit like and subscribe. To follow me on Twitter, Minds.com, or VidMe, check out the links in the description.